Presenting tonight from California Broadcasting, our Sunday evening show, Mack Daddy, with featured guests Gerardo Iniguez, David Allen, and Diego Knight. And now, let's welcome our comedian and actor, Mackenzie Joseph.
Thank you. Thank you. What a crowd. What a crowd. I was watching the news the other day, and I heard a woman kill her husband after being suspicious that he was having an affair. And I say to myself, thank God I didn't marry her. My ex-girlfriend was very jealous. She was so jealous, every time we spent the night together, the next morning, I had to check if I still have my ball. Jealousy is a serious problem. Last time I was invited over a party. When I got there, there were 6 Mexican guys after one girl. After taking the girl to the dance floor, they tried to set me up and started to provoke me. Then I told the girl, there is a party across the street. Let's go and check. When we got there was no party. I used that alibi to get rid of those guys. Then I called my friend Joe, and I said, Joe, my man, I went over a party, and there were 6 guys who tried to set me up for a girl. The funny part was, I ate their food, I drank their liquor, and I took their girl. When I was a kid, I was also jealous. I was so jealous that one day I caught my sister with a guy, and I was going to punch him. Then he ran away. I was so upset that I was going to tell my parents. Then my sister came to me and gave me $50. Since then, I kept my mouth shut. You know, I'm a very sentimental person. Since I broke up with my girlfriend from Chicago, I constantly have wet dreams about her. I never thought I was going to miss her that much. I tell you, I'm a good man, but I always pick the one girl because I never use my other head. All of my life, I have been waiting and searching for the woman of my dream. All the gorgeous ones that I had always walk away, and the ugly ones are the ones who want to stay with me. What a luck, what a luck. Last time, I went to a shaman and asked him how to get rid of that luck. Then he told me, maybe it's time for a facial surgery. I never knew I was that ugly. Speaking of surgery, I had a date with a girl many years ago. On our first date, I asked her, "What are you looking for?" She said, "I'm looking for a wheelman with money that can take care of me." When I look at her, I noticed she had fake butt, fake lips, fake boobs, and fake eyelashes. And I said, "Girl, how come you're looking for a real man if you are all fake?" Speaking of faking people, last time I went to a restaurant bar and I met a gorgeous woman. Then we started to exchange conversation. After exchanging conversation, she gave me her number. The next day, I called her to go on a date with her. On our first date, I decided to take her to the motel. Before going to that motel, I took a Viagra pill and I bought 6-pack of beer. When we got there, I was ready for action. When I was about to make my action, she stopped me and said, "Wait, I need to get paid." I said, "Are you serious?" She said, "Absolutely. That's what I do for a living." Now, thinking about the Viagra effect on me, I asked her, "Can we please use this time for therapy session?" Speaking of therapy session, in my neighborhood, there was a woman who always had male visitors every time her husband was not around. And I was nosy to know what kind of therapy was that. Then I discovered she was playing hide and seek all those times. This game has been around for many years. Until today, grown-up people are playing hide and seek. And they will always try to play hide and seek with the government, with the police department, with the company insurance, and even with their spouses. And next things you know, they got busted for what? For playing hide and seek. I tell you, there was a time it was an old-fashioned to test prostate. My old man almost died from prostate cancer because he didn't want the doctors to give him a finger. Last time, I went to a Mexican millionaire to ask for advice. And I asked him in Spanish, "¿Cómo hacerme rico?" Then he gave me a finger. I could not understand. When I went over the internet to search for the translation, I found out that word had two meanings. One was how to become rich, and the other one was how to enjoy yourself. You know, we live in a confusing world. certain countries adopt the polygamy system and others don't. I love the polygamy system. Lately, I made myself a beautiful girlfriend from Africa. And now, not only I can have her, I can have her sister too. We also live in a world filled with psychopaths. Therefore, there are two types of psychopaths. When my neighbor killed his wife, I went to the police officer and asked him, "Officer, what happened?" He said, "He was a quiet man." I tell you, I never judge nobody for their sexual orientation. Therefore, I have heterosexual friends and homosexual friends. When I get drunk and sleep over my heterosexual friend's house, I slept with both eyes closed. But if I get drunk sleeping over my homosexual friend's house, I slept with one eye closed and the other one open. Me and my senior roommate, we have been living together for over 3 years, and I was his best friend. One day, when I got home, he was gone, just like a runaway wife. And you know, that hurt my feeling. One day, I was walking down the street and I saw him. And I told him, "Hey, how is everything with your new roommate?" He said, "It's all right." I said, "I'm happy for you. By the way, when are you going to invite me to the wedding?" I tell you, this world is filled with corruptions. Therefore, there is a constant fight between good and evil, and these may never change. 20 years ago, I was living in a little town filled with corruptions. Everybody knew about it, but nobody took action to change the corruptions. In that little town, I noticed that the government had an old-fashioned way to pick up trash of the city. And they had a big truck with a speaker on it, and that truck was going throughout the city by saying, the trash, take out your trash now, the trash." And you see people washing, taking the trash out and putting the trash in the truck. And one day, the trash truck was passing by my house. As I'm a man who try to change the world, I saw the opportunity to take action. And when I see the truck passing by my house by saying, the trash, take out your trash now, the trash, I went straight to the trash man, shook his hand and said, "Keep doing what you're doing, man. That's the better way to clean the city of corruption." Speaking of corruptions, I was a victim 20 years ago. Long ago, I had a terrible accident because I made the mistake driving under the influence of alcohol. And I had a terrible accident. After my accident, they came to rescue us and take us to the hospital. When we got to the hospital, I noticed they placed at the door a police officer. And this is how I realized how serious my situation was. Then I asked to go to the bathroom. When I got to the bathroom, I locked the door, used my pocket knife, opened the window, and escaped. Since they didn't have any DUI evidence on me, I waited for 2 weeks to get back to the place to see what happened with my truck. When I got there, it was totally lost. And I remember the officer told me, "Son, I know you have been through a lot. People who had accidents like yours never survive. It must be a reason you're still here, son. However, in order to delay the records, I need you to give me some cash." I gave him some cash. Then he said, "One more thing, son. What happened here never happened." And I replied, "Don't worry, officer. That will be our little secret." Speaking of little secret, I had one 20 years ago when I was living in Mexico. Every time I got in trouble, I turned myself into a gringo. I remember that day I was driving, and by accident, I passed the traffic light. And at the corner, I was stopped by a police officer. Then I started to apologize in English. Since the officer didn't speak English, he could not understand. By miracle, there was a guy crossing the street, and he called the guy. And he asked the guy to translate for him. When the guy was translating, he said, "Tell the gringo to give some money in order to walk away." And I answered, "Absolutely, officer. Can we go to the MTMC Machine?" After saying that, he got very upset and said to the guy, "Tell the damn gringo he can leave now and try not to get in trouble anymore." The funny part was, I did understand everything he was saying. As a matter of fact, I speak perfectly Spanish, but I didn't want to say a word because I was playing the dummy gringo. You know, sometimes it's better to play dummy instead of playing that you know everything. I know a guy who seems to know everything. When I first met him, he just moved in town. As I have 7 years living in town, I tried to advise him. But every time I was trying to advise him, he was playing like he knew everything. One day, he stopped to my business and said, "You see, I'm a smart man, and I noticed you never stop at my restaurant." And I said, "Friend, I went the other day, but it was closed. He said, oh, yeah. I'm not at the same place anymore because the girl hustled me and took from me $3,000 for overcharging me the rent. After saying that, I take a pause and look at him and said, how could that be? You are a smart man. Lately, it is very common for women to post their nude on social media to grab people's attention. And guys are enjoying it. Last time I saw a picture on social media, it was so tempting that I texted the girl a message. And the message said, how much do you charge? That's right. How much do you charge? That reminds me of Hong Kong. Many years ago, me and my friends, we went to a gentleman club called Hong Kong. When we got there, they had all kinds of nude girls. And then a pretty girl approached me and said, how can I please you tonight? I look at her and ask, how good are you at blowing? You know, acting in movies, since I was a kid, was always my passion. Mostly, every time I act in a movie, I'm a police officer. And when you act in a movie, you become the character. One day, after acting in a movie, I was going home, walking downtown in LA, and all of a sudden, I was surrounded by cops, and they were pointing at me. So, slowly, I grabbed my badge, put my hands in the air and say, don't shoot, I'm a police officer. You see, acting in a movie is always fun. But sometimes it can be also stressful. I received a call from my casting agency, and they wanted me to act in a movie, and they wanted me to send them a trailer. The trailer was about two males having sex late at night, and they were very loud. And the neighbor next door was very upset because he could not sleep. And I said, okay, I can do that. So I asked my cameraman to start filming me while I was playing the role of the upset neighbor. After finishing my role, going at the door, knocking to ask them to be quiet, I sent to the casting agency my trailer. In 5 minutes, I received a response from them. And they said, no, that's not what we want you to do. Then I realized what they wanted me to do was to be the bitch. Unbelievable. Many years ago, I was a fat man. I was so fat that I went to the doctor and asked him, Doc, what should I do to lose weight? Then he said, son, it's simple. Get yourself an Nymphomaniac girlfriend. Taking the doctor's advice, I get myself a very beautiful nymphomaniac girlfriend. In 1 week, I lost 50 pounds. I became so skinny, they tried to hire me for Halloween party. I tell you, I'm a terrible singer. Last time I went to a bar restaurant to karaoke, and the next day, the owner went out of business. My name is Mackenzie Joseph. That's the story of my life. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Be sure to join us next week when we present our Sunday evening show featuring Mackenzie Joseph along with Geraldo Iniguez, David Allen, and Diego Knight. So, for now, from California, on behalf of Mack Daddy Show, thanks for joining us and see you next week.